Okay, first test with both airbags. Go ahead and do it. Yeah, that's good. Alrighty, so today we're doing some maintenance on our 4BT. I have a new fuel filter. I want to make sure FS1251. FS1251. So we got this guy here. It's got a little water fuel separator. So that filter. They're both the same. I've been getting those from Cummins. They're 14 bucks. It's 15% off. They're about 16. It's like basically 10 bucks cheaper than the auto parts store, and plus the filter is an original equipment, or at least a genuine Cummins part, Cummins approved part at least. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll show you the other thing I got. So I got two of these. These are 8 quarts. I may need to go get another quart. I got this one here. We got 2, and then this is the oil filter I'm using, 1607. This is for a 1990 Dodge Ram with the 5.9 Cummins. So we got that. I've got a drain pan down below. I'll just let that drain out. Find out that's all water. I won't be able to tell if there's any water in that because I rinsed out that pan and left water in it, so yeah. I actually need a block of wood to stand on because my truck is so... Oh, that's so much better. I like having a drain like this. That's pretty convenient. And there's a little O-ring up on there for the tube that this screws onto. Looks like it's coming with the filter, so just make sure that you get that too. Doesn't look like it's unscrewing the thing from the head, so that's good. Oh, it looks like it is. Kind of. I need to make sure we tighten that up. I got a new one. Yeah, see? O-ring. I'm gonna go throw it in the trash. The O-ring on this is right here. Yeah, that's nice. I should just buy a pack of 6 of these because I keep driving out all the way to Portland, and I don't want to be wasting my fuel. So just make sure that it's tight. And it's trying not to get dirt in it. There's a that will need to be tightened, but there's a little threaded tube that this goes onto. Sometimes it will actually come undone first. Tube wasn't coming undone. Try not to roll the O-ring either. Put a little. I should put some more diesel on this, but I don't have any clean diesel. So what'll happen is this will stick on there. But I suppose what we could do, take a little bit of diesel engine oil, just give it a little coating. Alright, and then you're done. No, I'm kidding. It's like, Scotty Kilmer, damn it, you gotta screw that filter on all the way first. So this filter was replaced February 13th this year. I'm gonna go ahead and prime this until we get some resistance. Actually, I won't want to plug that back in. Take that off. I'm gonna go ahead and start this thing and make sure she runs. I hear air. We're gonna be moving a lot of air. I can hear air going back into the tank. Crack this bleeder screw in the back here. I believe it's 10 mil. Snug that down. I think we're good to go. How about that for a view for changing the oil? Alright, this was put on by an oil dick. Yes, an oil dick. A dick with oil. No, I'm kidding. Alright, now it just smells like diesel. Let's see. What size was this? I think it was a I don't think it's gonna be a 17. It looks like it's a 19 actually. Oh yeah, 19 millimeter. Yeah, it's a brand new drain plug. Oh wow, they put it on. Nice. I wonder if they torqued it to the Dodge spec or something. Now this says warm. If you're doing this on a warm engine, which I recommend, it's very warm. Not as hot as the gas engine oil. This one's, I've only been out to Portland and back and it's not burning my hand. Look at that. That was due, huh? And this one doesn't have a magnet. That's, I figured that was going to have a magnet. The other one did. Oh yeah, it was time for an oil change. Well, this should be a happy engine now. She's been pretty good lately, but I want to make sure that the oil's fresh. And yeah, it smells pretty bad. Yeah, I think I changed it in November. It's now halfway through February. It's due for a change. Well, I'll let that dribble out. I'm gonna go disconnect something up at the top. Well, the oil's drained out of it, so let's see if we can get this undone. This was done by the oil change place. Or Valvoline, as I like to go to. I think I'm gonna need 2 hands. You're gonna make a bit of a mess. Make sure you have a good oil pan under there. So, yeah, almost out of the hole on this one. I think what's going to get in the way here is this heater hose. Bring that guy up there. There we go. Okay, make sure it's at a good angle. Not everything's all permanent in here, so I can kind of move things around occasionally. Okay, that's bloody hot. That's our old oil filter. It's a V064 from Valvoline. And we got this guy here. Which is a bit taller, I think. No, it's about the same height. Same threads. Basically the same design. But, yeah, it's definitely a paper element. I want to get a... There's got to be a better filter, because I know these engines, because of the oil pressure spike, they like to tear these things up, so I'm tempted to keep that one and cut it open. I got to get a tool for that. So I'm gonna pre-fill this a little bit, about halfway. That way when I put it in there, it doesn't spill out. I'll lube up the ring here, put it back in there. Color good. I have a feeling we're gonna need to go get a bottle. Something like that. We are gonna, I'll just fill up that much. We're gonna crank this thing with the ignition off. Or the ignition unplugged. Spin it on. There's no old O-ring on there. This one doesn't have the hex on it, so you can't put a tool on it. That's gonna suck. But I've got serpentine belts and stuff that will take this off. So we're doing all this maintenance at 71,000 miles. $71K. That's how many miles I have on this truck, but this motor has probably more miles than that. I'm willing to bet, because of how much dirt it had on it, this probably has about 100,000 miles on it. I put at least 5 on it. So we got the drain plug is back together. Let's see, what else? Yeah, drain plug is back in, tightened down. I got the belts off in my pump swung over so I can fill it up. And then filters in, fuel filters in, we know it runs with that, so let's go ahead and fill it up. Oh, this is way better. I've missed that funnel. I missed you. This engine's pretty much vented, so it should fill up pretty quick. just get oil all over the belts and stuff. You know, it's good for them, right? Squeak, 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 squeak. And every bit of drop of this we can get out of it. This stuff, I think I paid, I forgot how much this stuff was, but I think it's basically almost 20 bucks. Basically it's 20 bucks a bottle. One of these days Valvoline's gonna be like, can you stop using our products? Like, hey, you want to lose money? Okay, cool, that's fine with me. You know, I only go to Valvoline to get my oil changes done because it's the only place I trust, at least the one up the street from me. Let it sit like that if it will stay. I don't know how I got the other one to stay. There. Okay, I'm gonna let that dribble in there, and then I'm going to throw some trash away, and then I'm gonna I'll show you how I have this engine wired up for ignition as far as keeping the pump on, and then what I'll go ahead and do is disconnect it, and then we'll let it crank until we see some oil pressure, and then we'll fire it up. And it'll just be easy on the oil pump, and we'll make sure that this turbo doesn't run dry for a few seconds. We want to avoid that because this turbo is pretty old. It's original to the engine, and I don't know how many miles are on it. I wish I did because, yeah, it's just a good thing to know. But I will know for the next engine that I get. Okay, before we go, before we do anything, let's check our oil level. Says it's full. There's gonna be a little bit of dirty oil in there still. That was a squeaky Chevy driving by. My truck makes absolutely no noise off-road. I don't know. Yeah, you got that thing. He's just cruising around around the neighborhood and it's squeak, 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 squeak. Anyways, let's go to the important part here. Another way we could do this is we could just jump the starter solenoid over there and then call that good. Now the other thing we got to do is make sure we got this thing out of gear, which I have it in gear just because I was underneath it. Okay, she's in neutral. On this terminal I purposely broke off one clip so that all I had to do was just lift up one and disconnect it. Again, make sure you're out of gear. If you're not sure, you can put your clutch in. So at this point, you're not going to see any immediate oil pressure, but what you will do is you will self-prime the system so that nothing will run dry. Once you start the engine and let it run for a few minutes, oil pressure will begin to build up. See my connectors? Plug them back in, they only go in one way. There we go, we got our oil pressure. It'll take a little bit for it to build up, but at least as long as you crank it a little bit like that, shouldn't kill your engine. Just give it a little bit of throttle to fill up that oil filter. Sounds happier. Got some fresh oil, fresh fuel filter. full tank of gas still. I filled up at 190. I forgot to reset this. I filled up at 190. I'm at 260 right now, and I'm at this mark there. So that's probably about 20 miles to the gallon, I want to say. I won't know. I'll have to do another fill up. I totally messed up this MPG round. But there we got our normal amount of oil pressure. Let's let it run for a couple minutes. We'll check for leaks. And then check the oil level. That smells good. Oh yeah, good oil pressure. She's purring like a kitty. I'll check the oil now. And then cue the gardeners that are mowing along. It doesn't need to be mowed. Battery's about dead on this thing. It needs a tiny bit more, but I'm gonna call it good. I'll check it in a few miles. There we go. Here's our maintenance. 71,000 miles.